Have you ever wondered if God loves Satan? Well, I believe I know the answer to it. And short answer, it's yes. My name's Dakota. I have a gift to see into the spiritual world beyond, and God's been letting me visit heaven since I was 12 years old, among a bunch of other really cool things I do. I was probably like 13 or 14. I was in heaven. I got to sit on God's throne for just a little while, and this does not mean that I was God. It just means that because my spirit is a part of God's spirit, that it's kind of acceptable for me to, from time to time, sit in a seat, almost like a princess would get to sit in the king's throne from time to time, when there's not such important events happening. So I was sitting on his throne, and I heard something behind me, and I looked, and there was a snake on the throne. It looked like it wanted to come out and bite me. And I jumped up and turned around, and when I fully faced it, all of a sudden there were a host of angels around me, and they had their spears pointed at this snake. And I backed away out of the circle of angels as they stepped in closer. I was pretty freaked out, and I thought, am I not in heaven? So I asked out loud to anyone who would answer, did Jesus Christ come in the flesh? Because that's the test to see if you're dealing with the angelic or the not. And I got back the answer from all the angels, yes, they were of God, but that snake was not, and yet it was in heaven. After I was away from that scene, I was praying in my room. I asked God, how could this happen? And God told me one word. He said, mercy. And I said, God, I still don't understand. And he said, that's okay. He said, can you just kind of put this story aside for a while and you'll understand later? And amazingly, I had enough trust that I did. It's like if you've ever had a parent tell you, just wait until you're older and you'll understand. But then instead of getting annoyed at that parent, you're actually like, okay, that makes sense. That's what I did. And now I understand. What God later told me when I was ready for it is that that snake was in fact a fallen angel, a demon, and that snake was allowed into heaven. It wasn't the serpent, it wasn't Satan, and it had been allowed in heaven because he was ready to come back to God. He was ready to be redeemed. And that was the first step in the process. God knows everyone's heart, including those of the fallen angels. That demon was on his way to being redeemed back in with God and back into being an angel. And even though it alarmed me that there had been anything demonic in heaven, when you read in the story of Job, God did take an audience with the devil in heaven.